What's your take on the Dorner case? Is that what you called in about?
Multiple things, sir. I just want to take a second to kind of explain this, because I listened to what you're saying. You're absolutely correct. But it's almost like your viewers don't understand what's going on. And when you say it's an info war, you're absolutely right, but it's multifaceted. In the Army, we call this a basic flanking maneuver. So the distraction is the main attack, right in your face. The flanking maneuver to the left or right is what they're doing behind the scenes. So as the administration pecks and pecks and pecks with executive orders or proposed legislation around to the right side, DHS is preparing for military action. And it's very, very obvious, but if people don't understand what they're seeing, they won't understand it.
Yeah, there's a giant arms buildup, and now open admission, they're preparing for giant war in all 50 states with the people. I mean, this is so depressing, so horrible. It means they're going to totally collapse things, and I want to stop it. Man, I live here. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. We've got the FBI visiting chefs because they want to learn about the radiation manuals that if they're admitting they're dangerous, trying to help people, federal employees. Meanwhile, the globalists are gutting the country. I'm sorry, go ahead and make your point.
So the second thing I wanted to get to was, in the Army we have a saying about planning for operations, and it is, no plan survives first contact. So what you have to understand is these guys are planning for two outcomes. They can slowly peck at us until we just forfeit our rights, or they can push us until we fire. And that's what DHS is there for.
That's right. People always say to me, well, which is it? Where's the martial law? They're trying to ease us into it, but if it causes too much resistance, they may go all the way. So you're right. They've probably got 5 different plans running simultaneously that run from soft takeover to hard takeover, and that means detonating nukes and saying the Patriots did it. They've got 5 major plans from my study and watching their pre-programming. See, the programming tells you where they're going with the public that's targeted towards unconscious people. If you're conscious, you see it. That gives you information awareness of what the battle plan is by the technotronic programming that's going on. But I'm sorry, you've got the floor. Go ahead and make your points.
Oh, yes, sir. You're absolutely right. So it's just people need to understand that this is absolutely real. And just because you don't see it in your particular neighborhood or area, it doesn't mean it's not going on. Pay attention to the news. And always remember, everyone is as more radical the legislation and ideas come from the White House, the distraction will become that much more ridiculous. Think about it. All these things going on in Hollywood with stars and the shooter out in California, all these things to keep your attention on those things that are not necessarily that important so that the plan can be pushed forward.
You're saying Dorner may actually be staged?
No, no, sir. I'm not saying that he staged it. What I'm saying is, if you notice, there was national attention.
They decide to give it attention, and then it becomes the diversion, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, let me ask you this, because it's now in the Army Times, Stars and Stripes, urban warfare drills. I mean, it's admitted they're preparing for total civil unrest, takeover of the states. That's all actually on the books, public. It's just the general public doesn't look it up, so it becomes a rumor. You know, it's kind of like, I hear there's a place called the South Pole called the Antarctic, but I never saw it, so it's a rumor. No, it's down there, okay? And so it's the same thing. Like, I heard there's an Niagara Falls, but I ain't never saw it. You know, before there was television and stuff, people had to go off what they were told. So it's the same thing, but for people in, quote, intelligence, I'd guess if you're in Virginia, it's probably military or something, but I don't know. I mean, are they freaking out over the fact that it's now always been hidden they're preparing for domestic war for about 20 years? Now they're uncloaking and accelerating the programming, which means they're getting ready to go hot, or at least looking at going hot. I mean, are people realizing what this means?
Some of them are, sir, but you also have to remember the Beltway is kind of immune to everything else going on outside of that area.
It's in a bubble like Hitler's bunker.
Absolutely. So people here aren't really feeling the financial crunch that everywhere else is. Some people are living in a dream. I work with some people who are completely aware of what's going on, but at the same time, they say, I have to make a paycheck, I have to put food on my table, I got to pay my house mortgage. And I keep telling them, well, if you don't speak out against this, you may not have a house to pay for. You know, you may not have a table to put food on.
Well, see, that's what's scary is that the programs work from deindustrialization, hardcore depression, reorganization, breaking of the American people on the light end to absolute Mao Zedong kill half America level crap. And I've studied history so much, folks, I'm not saying that to scare you. They're leaning towards Mao Zedong level stuff. So once the gloves come off, folks, it's just going to be hell on earth. And I hope everybody understands they were warned. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. And from my military experience, I was in Fallujah. I was there. And I saw that, you know, we were almost no holds bar there. And I'm telling people they need to listen. And from my personal experience, my personal opinion, I believe that the main plan is to prepare for a military conflict within the United States of America. DHS is openly ordering all these things you would need for an open conflict. And people, I'm telling you.
And a long war where they're going to be forced into certain regions. I mean, they plan a full-out long war.
And Mr. Jones, the only issue I've ever had for you, had against you, and this is I've been listening for a long time, is that you hesitate to tell people how bad things will get. And it's because you don't want to scare people. I understand that. But people need to hear it. People don't understand how quickly, you know, their area can be cordoned off and forces can come in and blow through houses so fast they don't know what hit them. They don't understand that, you know, their water and power can be shut off to a specific area, and you can be waited out.
And the issue is, at first, they're going to wipe people out, put out PR on them to demonize them. But then I know what's going to happen. The veterans and people are not that they're scared. They're just been waiting. They're going to go completely ape against anybody in the government. I mean, from your research, what do you think is going to happen to people in the military and police once the Civil War kicks off?
I think the line will be drawn. People will pick a side. But you also have to understand that as many arms as we may have on the civilian side, and I own weapons, staunch supporter of the Second Amendment, you also have to remember, during the invasion of Iraq, you had Iraqis who believed, because they were told by Saddam Hussein, that if they put plastic wrap over RPGs, they could destroy the Abrams invisible force field. Okay? Not that Americans believe things like that, but if you think about what we will go up against, okay, all the gun owners there are in America won't make a difference against an Abrams or Bradleys or Strykers or UAVs with Hellfire.
Sure. Well, what's going to happen is, but I mean, still, they couldn't hold all of Baghdad. What you're saying is true, but the issue is it's going to be like Dorners. It's going to be people where they go out, get one person, and then never do anything again. I mean, I've studied the history of total resistance. It's just going to be horrible. I just want to not have this happen. I just want to have America wake up. The problem is that it looks like the system is just hammered down. And if libertarians and constitutionalists and conservatives and liberals don't wake up and say no to this tyranny, it's over. God bless you. I appreciate your call. Anything else you want to add, William?
Yeah, just real quick, the whole Dorner thing. People need to understand that episode revealed the weakness and the lie behind terrorism in the United States of America. One guy, a reservist in the Navy, he doesn't get specialized training like the Army or the Marine Corps. He took very basic CI training, and he almost defeated the LAPD, the FBI, the Marshals, and they had Reaper or drones out there looking for him. This will tell you, if there were ever real terrorists in America, we could not stop them. We had all the assets we could have.
But that's what I'm saying. If it goes to civil war, the veterans are going to go asymmetrical, and there's going to be no way to stop them because they're not going to be popping up for the predator to get them. It's going to be a bunch of off-duty cops are at a bar, and you know what happens. I mean, it's just, and that's what they're preparing for. They're training police for 5 years. You will face veterans with IEDs. Well, you're going to have to kill veterans' families before they come after you. And they are. They're planning to try to come arrest everybody. I mean, they're going to force us into a civil war to wipe us all out. That's the goal. We've got to get that word out and stop it. God bless you. I appreciate the call, but I just can't believe we're talking like this on air. And the thing is, I know I'm right. I know that's where it's going, and now it's all materializing. But let me tell you why they could win. They'll nuke a city or something. They'll go that bad, or say Patriots release